Hello and welcome. This is Vanessa Growlish, and today I want to talk to you about what I'm doing to homeschool Vera. My daughter is going to be 5 years old this May 1st. She was born May 1st. And I said, you know what? I'm going to share what I'm doing with my daughter because I think that way, when you talk to other parents and you're like, oh, I've been doing this and that, and you're like, oh my God, I've been doing the same, and that's a good idea, then you kind of compliment of, how to do things from your heart and do them right. So let me just tell you the things that I have at home that might motivate your child to, have fun. Now, I just want to say it right there. Is it hard for me to sometimes sit down with Vera and do this? Of course, of course, of course. Don't think that, it's like you're going to do A plus B. She, like any other kid, sometimes doesn't want to do it. Sometimes, we'll go through that. So I want to make sure that I share that because it's not easy to homeschool, and the process of and this pandemic and this whole thing is just not easy. And my heart goes to all those parents that are going through this nightmare because a lot of the kids are just in this horrible lockdowns that whatever, it is what it is, right? Hopefully soon we're going to be there. But now, let's say that you have a toddler or, basically you just want to start integrating math and letters into your student or your child's life, right? Maybe it's not your son, maybe it's not your daughter, but it's your little sister, your little brother, and you are like, you know what? I want to go ahead and take the responsibility and the honor of teaching them how to do this and that. So the first thing I do is that I try to do a lot of writing, and I have this box. I have so many pencils and pens, it's a little bit too much, but I went ahead and I got like this box from Paw Patrol, and it had it had a puzzle, but whatever, we did the puzzle, and then I was like, this is the coolest, thing, just to put pencils and all that. And what I do here is that I put, pencils, of course, I told her to be careful with her eyes, and, I always explain her how to grab a pencil, when you're walking, to put them down. You have to make sure that you always do safety. And then in the other podcast that I discuss, how to do multiplication, I tell you, I use boards all the time. It's so dirty because I have been using it a lot. But when you go ahead and look, I just want to show you, I got these letters all on Amazon, and the student has such a fun time. Just basically, again, I just grab like random ones from the refrigerator. But I'm going to tell you, if you have the ability, and let's say you don't have a board and you have just something magnetic, this is perfect because you can go ahead and say like, oh, look, let's do MUM. I'm just making an example right now. I don't have any letter or anything prepared for this. And you know what? Like, look, Vera was just having fun with this. She was drawing on it. This is a $5 board. I think the letters were, I don't know, maybe like $15, and it was like a whole set. And then this comes with a board. This is great to get your kids to do like fun stuff. I talk about the multiplication table. I highly recommend it. So far, you get like, something cool. I think like if you have the tools and you give it to, to the student, it's just natural just to see this Paw Patrol, and you say, you know what, let's just go ahead and do circles. And it's so much different than just sitting down and said circles. You present the box. Again, this is a 4.5. And what I want to do, I think like my whole goal is to get her, for her to understand like, wow, this makes me feel good. If I grab a pencil, if I do the circles and my mom thinks that that's cool, and, then she can give me an oval and a square, then you're going to start seeing that your child or the student is going to be asking for more, because this is the best age to basically give them like, the Very Hungry Caterpillar, which I did a podcast on that experience of like, you have the power to get a pencil, make a circle, and say, yes, how can I do a bigger one, right? So that's basically what the goal. So what do I do with Vera? Well, I got this book. This is where I started. And this book, I think like they're worth like maybe like $12, $15. Sometimes they're even $10. And they have a lot of activities. Now, we've done a lot of them, and basically, what does this book relies on? Well, patterns, counting, figuring out when things are equals or not. So, like it has a mixture of letters and counting, and that's all what you should be worrying about for a 4.5 right now, just to understand what are the letters, how can I identify a letter, and a number, things like that. So this book, the first thing I did, that for the first pages, I just let her draw and do whatever she wanted. And as you can see that the book starts with like path, and then it just basically starts getting a little bit more complicated. So you have tracing and things like that. This is the best place to start. And all what you do is that I just basically presented the book. Instead of just putting it there, I just told her, I got you a really cool book. And this is super, super critical for the students to be like, oh, wow, what is this? And I just basically told her, I said, if we do this together, then you're going to get a bigger book. And she was like, what? And yeah, for sure, they're probably going to be bigger. But it's a great way to start. Listen, don't go crazy. If your child sits down and you remember, it's a 4.5, 5-year-old. Don't expect to have an hour with the kid, because it's just not going to happen. But if you can get at least 20 minutes, and I'm not saying every day, maybe Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and you're like, okay, I'm done, then that's okay. Because it's not about the quantity, but it's about the quality. But of course, these are things that you have to repeat. But once you learn this part, this is where you will start. And then, I don't know where I put the board. And then you work on the board. Oh, I have it here. And then you have the board. Oh, there we go. And then if you do the board, then now the student is thinking book, board, fun. And basically, you did the whole circle of the learning, the best way of doing basically something when you want to learn. Then the other book that I got was this preschool math. I like these people, Modern Kid Press. The book I got on Amazon, and it says ages 2 to 4. I mean, don't go crazy. If your 3-year-old is lost and you see a book like this, don't go crazy, because they do take time to learn this. And some kids might not be, I always think like if you have a 3-year-old and then when they're 7, it's gonna be okay. Just don't go crazy thinking like, oh my God, right now it's 2 to 4 and he hasn't done this. Just take your time. Everything you have to do it also on your pace. As long as you are having a checklist every week and you're saying, I'm putting this much time on numbers, I'm putting this much time on on counting, then you're going to be okay. This book, I kind of like it because it has like mermaids and like it's very cute. And basically the book, it just shows you like the number, then it shows you like, to basically mix the number with the quantities. And then, so look, each number, you do the tracing. So I think this is actually a really good book because you have a lot and it has castles. And I think it's good for boys or girls because it's just a really cool book. And then, from here, it shows you like, what is coming in between. Then here you have to match it. So as you can see here, it looks way much more intimidating from the front than, from the beginning. So these books are designed or are supposed to be designed so the student goes graduating, from easy, medium, hard. So if don't go ahead and jump because it's going to be difficult for the student to understand this, just start. And this is the other thing. I let Vera to put her name, draw. This is her property, like I always say. I feel that when you make the book special, sometimes, of course, I do see the book on the floor and it kind of like gets me a little bit, my heart goes like, oh. But I try as much as I can for her to think that this is like an asset for her life, and books are beautiful and books are fun. Then I got this book just to get a little bit of science, not science, but to make her curious about her body. This book is a little bit, I will say advanced for her, but I did not buy it because, I'm going to have her to read or anything like that. I just felt that it was such a good book with, like we can, for example, go through this book and I will be like, oh, okay, you know what? These are the bonds. And then, of course, I'm like, let's go ahead and count the bonds. Vera loved this book, actually. It talks about really nice graphs. And I feel that, see, I don't go crazy talking to her about the cerebellum or the cerebrum or the brain or the brain or the brain stem. Like, but I think like I thought that the picture had really good, I thought the book has really good pictures. So it was, super helpful. The other thing that I have used is Scissor Skills. This, again, I got it through Amazon. This is like maybe like $2, something like that. And you just go from like a straight, and then, you have to do the cutting. And then at the end, you can put a stars, Vera put way much more stars of what the book was about. So don't think that, but I thought it was pretty cool because that way, you get the motor skills. I felt that this was also important. I got also a puzzle from Meg and Melissa, which I should have brought here. I'm sorry, Melissa and Doug. And beautiful, because when she saw that and she saw these pictures, then she was like, oh, okay, all this together, because the puzzle, which I'm going to put right now a video on it, is just basically like within layers, to put it that way. Besides that, the other thing that I got to teach her time are this, I talk about these little figures too. Sometimes we just put it like in a plate, and I just tell her like, oh, I would like a, I don't know, yellow cylinder. And you might think like, wow, cylinders and cubes and rectangular prisms. My daughter loves Umi Sumi, Teen Umi Sumi. Let me tell you, this cartoon is so well done that I have never told my daughter like shapes and things like that. This was all from the cartoons. And then when I saw that she was like looking at the Umi Sumis, which I highly recommend it. Like, it's so well done. I'm going to do a podcast on it because that's how much I love it. And I was like, oh my God, let me just get this. And now she's going to click what she's seeing on the TV with the toys. I got this, I don't know how do you call this, but maybe like sand clots, but this has a name and I forgot right now what is the name of it. I did this because, when you tell a kid like, you have 5 more minutes, how is she gonna know? She's 4.5. So I had 2 choices. I said, well, I can give her a timer, right? Or I can just tell her like, look, you have 2 minutes, put it like that, right? And then let the time pass. And this is going to give her time. It's one of the most important assets for all of us, the value of time. Finally, again, all this maybe like no more than $10. Then finally, I got this little set, highly recommended too. And this set basically, and it brings the little coat. I think I made a couple videos with Vera, and I'm gonna tell you, making the video with Vera, it takes me maybe like 30, 40 minutes through the whole thing. Set it up, and of course, I prep for it the night before, and then, she really likes to watch, like any other kid, Ryan, and now Ryan has like thank God finally, because I was not approving of Ryan toys. But I have to say, now they have this new session because it's on this. I hate when you cannot remove things from the fire through Amazon. So it's there, stamp all the time. And she's all the time watching to Ryan toys. And now they have this lab. And I said, that's it. This is how I'm going to fight back to Ryan's toys, because she's now watching this, these labs that he does with the little sisters too. They're adorable. The next Kardashians. I love this family because literally. And I just feel that it was just good, because I felt like now she's going to understand to do it. She's going to watch it, enjoy it. And then she might say like, okay, I don't need to watch Ryan anymore because This is more fun. But anyhow, I don't care if she watches Ryan or not, but I just want to make sure that whatever she watches is just like any parent, it's educational and it's fun, but you know, there's so much more to life too. I don't go crazy. Of course, I look at the things that she's looking and she's observing, you know, on the iPad and the iPhone. But it's just difficult because there's so many of them, and they basically what they do, you know, the instant gratification, next, 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 next. So it is not easy. I think the level of distraction and level of like, I like this, I like that. I couldn't imagine being born in this time. Oh God. Thank God, no. But I'm now a mom, and I hope you thought that, you know, these little tips were helpful to you. And if you think that this was something that helped you, let me know, put a comment. Thank you so much. This is Vanessa Growlish, and I'll see you next time.